Happy Wednesday to you. I was asked by a friend if I would make a video to explain some of my work, so I thought I would start with this painting that I'm working on now. This is kind of a fun painting that I really didn't know where I was going with it. I just started with a background, and again, I had no idea what was coming. So where it is now is pretty exciting for me. Definitely playing and having fun. I don't know where it's going as far as I don't know how much more I'm going to add to it. Could be a lot, or maybe I'll stop. But let me just share a little bit more about this piece. So this piece specifically, I have to share a little bit about my childhood. I come from a broken family. However, thanks to my parents, I did not have a bad childhood. I did not have parents that were pitting me up against each of them. I did have a stepmother who is part of my life from the age of 2 on. Before that, I lived with a babysitter, basically foster parent, for the first 2 years of my life. So there might have been some abandonment issues that I've dealt with throughout my years. And part of the way I dealt with things, I think is very healthy. As far as when I was a child, I had toys and I liked to use my imagination. And that's what this piece has really become, basically my story. So it started out, I'll share right now, an early photo. Okay, so in that photo, you saw that it was just this pixelated foreground area that's basically debris. And because it's kind of pixelated, I think it got me thinking about like memories and lost data. And so I had this hole here already, and I had the background, but I didn't have any of these other elements. So I started thinking about this debris going into the hole, and then I wondered, well, what could be coming out of the hole? And so that's where these marbles came springing out. And when I was a kid, my parents and I collected marbles. It was a lot of fun. They're so simple yet complicated and just fun. I remember getting a whole box of marbles. My parents and I got a whole box of marbles. I think my dad might have traded a work of art for it. It was probably worth a few $100s. There were some real treasures in there, marbles that had value. And anyway, I remember us sitting on a living room floor just going through this box and being in awe of such a simple little artistic thing. So that's what these swirl marbles remind me of those past times. So then I started thinking about other things in my childhood, and that's where this figure, let me zoom in here if I can. That's where this figure came about. He's walking away from the pit, the hole, where all the trash is going in, and all the trash is going into the hole and imagination is spitting things out. So this figure here was a Fisher-Price action figure that I remember having that was part of a safari set. And it's kind of ironic because I think there were 2 women, a man, and a little boy. And that's kind of symbolic for my situation with 2 moms. Actually, I had 3, but I'm not counting the foster parent I had until I was 2, because I never saw her again after that. Well, I think I saw her once when I was a teenager, but it didn't register really who she was. She gave me a whole set of encyclopedias. Kind of sad. I wish I could have known her. So anyway, after this figure here, and again, I must stress how much I loved the Fisher-Price action figures. They were just so cool. They came before all the Star Wars action figures. Yeah, they were the bomb. Anyway, so after I added him, then I added this plane, this toy plane. And then following that, I added this block city castle thing. And yeah, I remember I loved making little houses and villages and stuff, structures with blocks. It started with Lincoln logs when I was really young, and I remember laying on my grandma's floor with my dad building Lincoln log houses. And but then there were also colored blocks. I don't know if I had them or if I just remember them from other families' homes and playing with them. I just can't remember that. So after adding this, I added this blue block, and then I added this crayon. And everything is still in progress, but I just thought I would share a little bit about this piece. I'm very excited to see where this goes. Again, I don't know where it's going, if it's going to stay like this, with some smoke sending these out of the hole, or what. But I'm having fun. I thought about putting a large windowsill right here with just the panes of the window showing, because I remember the window in my bedroom just being an important part of my childhood, and looking out the window and loving looking out the window during snowstorms and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not really sure where it's going, but I thought I would go ahead and share a little bit about my past and about what inspired this painting, and I'll try to do that with some other pieces that I've completed, and share a little bit more about works as I work on them. I'd love to know about your childhood, especially if it was a good childhood and you used imagination, you used toys to help your imagination. If you didn't have a good childhood, I am very sorry that you had to go through, those struggles. One thing I wanted for children was I wanted to be able to provide a good place for them to use their imaginations and to have a good childhood. And my wife and I have been able to do that. It's been my honor to be able to do that. So anyhow, thanks a lot. Hope you enjoy this video.